So you've been thinking about getting into beekeeping. Maybe you need to know where to get your bees. I am certainly not sponsored by this guy, but we're going to talk about Kamon Reynolds, Tennessee's bees, and how good of a queen and system he has. Okay, so out here in the bee yard next to one of the hives, and we're going to talk about Tennessee's bees. And I'm a Kamon Reynolds. I'm giving you a big plug here because you know, if you've watched any of my early videos about getting back into beekeeping, which obviously I have, I talked about I'd done it back in the 70s and 80s before we had varroa mites and before we had small hive beetles and all the different problems that come with it. So this year I decided to get back into it. Bought 2 nucleus colonies, nukes for short, for those of you that are actually beekeepers, from Tennessee's Bees, or Kamon Reynolds, because I'm really impressed with the guy and the quality of his stuff. I did not expect to get a honey harvest this year. As you can see next to me, I've got 3 supers on this one yet, and they are clear full. I'm going to be pulling honey off these tomorrow. Off the other hive, and I'll get the camera off and show you a little bit closer here shortly, I've already pulled honey off of that. Like I said, I really did not expect to get honey this year since I was just starting up with these 2 new nukes. But we had a good nectar flow. It's July 23rd, and because of the big pollinator refuge behind me, we still have a nectar flow. It's not over, not by any means. And I've also done a split off of one of them. So I'll grab the camera here. I'll show you a little bit about that and the other hive. Yeah, there's a lawnmower running in the background. You can probably hear that. This is one of the hives. I have my I have telescoping covers, and I have them lifted up a 1/4 inch so they're ventilated, because it is just hotter than blazes out. As I mentioned, these 3 supers here are clear full of honey. I'll be pulling them early next week. Right there in the center is a little split I did, a little walkaway split, and it looks like I checked it yesterday, and it looks like the queen has mated and come back. And I'll be putting that into a regular hive body here shortly. And over there in the corner, it's the other hive. We've already pulled 3 supers of honey off that, and I put another super back on. And the reason why is because even though it's the end of July and pretty much a dearth everywhere else, we don't have that here, because behind me, if I can even try to get this, and I should get my drone out and fly it. Hopefully you can see that back there. Right behind me is 40 acres of pollinator refuge with all types of different types of native wildflowers. And behind that is a 150-acre park and woods with a lot of wildflowers and meadows. And so there is absolutely no shortage here of nectar and pollen for these bees. They're just absolutely going gangbusters. And I'm really impressed with everything I've gotten here. I didn't get these nukes until May. So like I said, I wasn't really planning on getting any honey. I was only expecting to maybe get them established and possibly having them enough to store for winter. And we haven't even got into the fall flow yet. These bees are busy. Of course, I waited here till afternoon when it shaded a little bit back here, because it's hotter than blazes. Earlier in the day when it was sunny, they were really bearded all over the front of these hives. But once again, I want to give a little plug to Kamon Reynolds and Tennessee's Bees. He, like I said, he's a stand-up guy. He's got a great channel. So I hope you'll check him out. I'm not going to get into all the different nuances of beekeeping, because he's done an absolutely stand-up, fantastic job with it. And I hope you check out his channel, and I'll leave a link down in the description. Little note here, if you're not an experienced beekeeper, or maybe you're just a beginner and you're wondering how I can stand right next to this hive without a veil on, a suit on, or anything. It's not a problem, because I'm not bothering the bees. I'm just standing here. If I would walk straight up to the front of it, they may have a little bit of an issue, because it would alert the guard bees. But approaching from the rear or from the side, and you know, I'm standing right next to the entrance here, they're not bothering me. I may have one light on me once in a while, but the only time I put a veil on and suit up is when I'm actually inspecting the hives, or if I'm, of course, when you're taking honey out, they can get a little defensive. So you definitely want to have your smoker out and have that veil on and a suit on, and even when I'm taking honey, by golly, I got gloves on because, like I said, they can get a little testy sometimes. Otherwise, they're nothing to be afraid of. And if you're not a beekeeper at all and you're all freaked out about bees, I mean, you could probably see they're flying all around my head. They're not bothering me, and they won't bother you unless you bother them. There's a big misconception that they'll just come and attack you. These aren't yellow jackets, these are honeybees. Yellow jackets are assholes, that's a whole other story, but and if I have to deal with a yellow jacket nest, I'll be in a full suit and gloves, and I'll do everything I can to get rid of the damn thing. But otherwise, you know, for you, maybe you're a beginner or you're maybe thinking about getting into beekeeping, it's a fantastic hobby, but don't just dive right in. Check out books, do some research, watch YouTube videos. Again, Kamon Reynolds with his Tennessee's Bees, he's got a fantastic channel. He'll take you right through everything and explain everything step by step. Not something I'm going to do because he's already done a great job. Hope you got a little bit something out of this, and yeah, I'm plugging Kamon Reynolds and his bees. I'll put a link below in the description on where to get onto his site. He has a great YouTube channel. If you're a beginning beekeeper, there's all kinds of good information there. He'll go right down if you're just a raw beginner. He will explain everything. Great stand-up guy. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, I appreciate getting a thumbs up. And leave a comment. I always read them and I will answer them. Otherwise, until the next video, thanks for watching.